Hello. There's something really important that's happened to me today, and I want to share it. And I want to share some of the stuff that I do with maps and things like that in my project. And what it is about this. When a cat is approached by something that is going to be a threat to it, it makes itself look bigger. And a lot of nature does that. And it's how we present ourselves. When the Allied forces were fighting the Germans, the Nazis, in the Second World War in North Africa, Rommel needed to move a lot of vehicles very quickly. And he came up with this amazing plan. Instead of doing it in a line, he got them spread out like that. And they had branches tied to their trucks and jeeps and tanks. And they moved very quickly. And this created a massive dust bomb. And your spotters went to the Allied forces and said to the British, to Montgomery, there's thousands of them. And there wasn't. There was hardly. But they deceived the army. So they first sent in the Air Force, and the Germans had these really good anti-aircraft, and they wiped them out. They near and wiped out most of the RAF. And I have this saying, it's all about deceiving them. It's giving them that image that we're bigger than you. And that is how battles and wars are won. Stand tall in the land of giants. It came to me years ago when I lived up in the other end of Peveril. And it's about standing tall. You're surrounded by huge giants and you've got to stand tall and look up and make yourself look big. Not in a bad way. Not in a I'm going to make myself look better than you way. None of that ego stuff. But there's nothing wrong. Me and my middle brother don't talk. And I struggle with this. And I struggled with it. I'm not 100% sure I've done right. But I had to remove myself from him. I could no longer take what he was doing. I shared I've talked a lot about this recently, that I sat in the Fortescue pub and said to this lady, when she couldn't get why I lived like I did, I had no respect for myself, I had no kindness or love. And it just rang around my head. And I went home. And I had to question myself. Really seriously question myself. Why? Why do you think like that, Kevin? And I went abuse. And I went through a lot of different things. You know, this is what sexual abuse does to you, what physical abuse does to you, mental abuse. It destroys your character. It takes away from you. I went to Operation Motion, which is a support group for men, adult men that would abuse as children, as a victim. I am now a survivor. That's the difference. I am a survivor because I'm standing tall in a land of giants. This big giant. Yes, it still affects me. It still upsets me. But I don't go off and do loads of drugs and drink and do mad debauchery life. In end of May, it'll be 7 years. I've not taken any drugs. It will be 9 years since I've taken any illegal drugs. And it is that. Because I had to face this pain full on. I couldn't hide from it anymore. And a part of my recovery was to actually go, you know what, Kev? You deserve love and kindness. You do. And we all do. And that's why I talk about it a lot. That's why I talk about the fact that I think our society is losing that love, that kindness. We're losing it. Because once that goes, I tell you now, I've spoken to people who have lived. I've got friends who from Iran had to leave Iran because simply all they did was become a Christian. That is it. And it holds a death sentence. If they're sent back, they'll either be shot, hung, or beheaded in front of their families. Men, women. When they get back to Iran, they are non-person. They can do what they like with them. But by the end of the week, they will be dead. If not. You know, I've met people from Africa whose economies and collapses, and it does. This is why I talk about a mental revolution, a revolution of the mind. I don't want a physical one. And this is what it is. You need kindness. You deserve love. You need love and respect and things like that. These are things what the humans need. You are not built to live alone. You're not. We're not. We wouldn't. If this society was around now, at the beginning of the human race, we would have faded out within about 20 odd years. We wouldn't have lasted. We really, really wouldn't have. I think we wouldn't even get through the first winter. The fact the Pilgrim Fathers did what they did is because they wouldn't listen to the natives of the area. They were leaving. They were saying, look, it's going to snow here. And so now we'll be prepared. No, you won't. Because in America, when it snowed where they were, it snows. 1 minute it's nothing, next minute you've got 6 foot of it. And you can't get out your door. And so that's why we move. We would go somewhere else. And they wouldn't listen. These are all key skills that will make you feel better. That, you know, I talk about whipping rods. We're not born with them, but we inherit these whipping rods. And we beat ourselves up. We all do it, and you know I do it as well. And I've been through a spate of it recently. It's about treating yourself nice. It really is. It's about showing you care. Do you care for you? Really? That's the question. Do you care truly about you? I don't think I do. I'm not there 100%, and I don't think anybody is. Because we've been programmed not to be. It took me a long time to realise what I did with my middle brother. He's contacted me twice and wanted to get back involved in me. And every time I have to ask myself one question. Can you trust him? And the answers keep banging back, no. And it's a shame. And I have to push him away. And it's about that. And we think, if I push him away, no. Sometimes people create their own hanging, their own noose. They put their own noose around their own and pull the lever. Some people just do that. I can do that. Sometimes the best thing for me is not to get me involved. I can be the very, very worst thing in this situation. Because I may not show myself any kindness. Kindness, love and care are the most important things in life. Once you got them, I know what it's like to have no love in your life. I know what it is to shut that emotion down. Not to be kind, not to be gentle, which is what Kevin means. Not to be nice. I have lived a brutal life. And it takes a long time to unpack. I've written 2 books. And the last one I've written goes into more deeper of where the journey I've been through. And it's called Brutal. It's being proofread at the moment. There's so many of you, I want you to read it. And I know I bang on, but this is what I'm about. I want you to understand. I want you to be kind to yourself. And there's a few people I know who are not. And it's not survival. It's not. It's copping out. It is a form of copping out. Being real is a fantastic thing. Today I stood up and I've told Falmouth Art College that I'm not doing any more learning difficulty tests. They either accept it or they don't. It's down to them now. I'm standing up and I'm protecting myself. When I do these tests, it breaks the hell out of me. I've done it. I've done them all. I'm not doing any more. Stand tall in the land of giants. May your God go with you. May you be an utter blessing.